Hello felting friends, welcome back to Chicken Run Creations. We are hopefully going to finish up our little sheep today. We are learning some basics to needle felting, and we are using a very simple armature using pipe cleaners. So this is where we are right now. We finished the body and the head in the last video. So today we're going to make the ears, attach the head to the body, and learn a couple different ways to cover our little sheep. This is our prototype. If you haven't seen the other two videos, I highly suggest you go back and watch them. So anyway, let's get started here. Get myself adjusted. All right, so I'm going to move these out of the way. We're going to do the ears next, and I'm doing them with my roving that I'm going to be covering it with. We're going to do it a little bit different than we did the pig video, since these guys have a rounded ear. You could make them pointed, but they're a little bit more rounded. So I'm going to start with my roving here, and I'm going to get a couple pieces pretty close to equal size. They don't have to be too big. I think that's pretty good. So what we're going to do, and I don't know size wise what this is, it's maybe flattened out 1 inch by 5, but that's probably, it's more than what we're going to need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half like this, get a nice little curve on the top there. I replaced my broken needle, if you saw my last video, and we're just gonna felt this in a little circle here. Kind of pinching the end here. And I want to do 2 at the same time, so I keep them the same size. Kind of redistribute this here a little bit. All right, fold it in half, and get this one stabbed. Some good news, my beginner kit should be put together today. I'm waiting for the last bit of wool to come in today's mail, so I'm anxiously awaiting my mail delivery, and once I get it, I can put everything together, and my kits will be available on my website. Any of my local students who want to come and pick it up, you are more than welcome to. And I will have it at my class, have them available at my classes as well. So we're going to flip these over and stab them some more. And when you first start stabbing something like this, it's thin, it is going to go right into your pad, but I'm not like stabbing my needle like all the way in. I'm trying not to stab it in, but I mean it is going to get in there to some extent until it gets more felted. But that's okay, because you can just pull it right off. And then just pull it, turn it, and keep stabbing. Let's see how we are size wise. They're pretty good. All right. Okay, let me grab my finger guards here. Now, just like we did with the pigs, I'm going to take the, so I kind of have an odd shape here, so but I'm going to take my needle and go along the outside edge to felt that and kind of shape it a little bit better. Alright, this one ended up being a little bit more pointed. Let's see if I can round that up a little bit here. It's a little bit smaller too. Let me get this one a little bit smaller. Okay, not too bad. All right, I'm just going to just felt them down a little bit more here with my finer needle. Okay, on to the side. See how this is kind of bold here? We can tell that. I want to do that with this one a little bit. And once I actually pinch it together more, it will kind of do that automatically. But all right, now I have a little bit of the pink like we used on the nose, and we're just going to put a little bit in the center of the ear. Again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. That. Now a little bit of the pink kind of came through on the back side of this one. That's all right. Just kind of flatten these out a little bit. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of squeeze it together down here at the bottom. And I'm going to stab it across here like that. Okay, 2 little ears. Well, one's a little bit bigger than the other one, but okay. Now I'm just gonna pull a little bit of this off because it's definitely more than we're gonna need to attach it to the head. Okay, get our little head back here. Now, if you remember, our head's a little bit on the big side, so I'm just gonna kind of pull this apart a little bit here. Let's see, that's a little bit better. Okay, because adding the ears, it's gonna get a little bit bigger too, so I think I'm just gonna tuck that down a little bit along here. All right, now I figure out where we want the ears to hang. So on this one, probably about a 1/4 of an inch or so back. So I'm just gonna kind of make a little indent here and here, just to kind of mark the spots where I want the ears to go. So I'm gonna get my pins and I'm just gonna stick a pin in there. Stick a pin in there. And let's see if I like where those are. I think this one's a little bit lower. That's not too bad. This here is a little bit bigger, but all right. So now, while the pin is there, I'm just gonna stab it in a little bit to kind of hold it in place. So I'm going to take the pin out and do the same on this side. Okay, that looks all right. So now I'm going to take these little poofs here and just kind of pull them to the back, and then start to tighten this down. This is all going to get covered with the wool, so I'm not too concerned what it looks like at this point, other than just to make sure that my ears look good. Okay. There, he's got ears are a little big. So he's got big ears. I think maybe the pink makes it look a little big. His nose is, his face, I think his face is a little bit smaller too than the other one. So, all right, we're gonna call it good for now. I need to kind of turn this one down a little bit. Okay, let's attach our little sheepy's head to the neck. So kind of decide what direction I want his head to be in here. I think I kind of like that. So I'm going to take this wool that we had extra from his ears. I'm being careful because you got that pipe cleaner in there. And I'm just going to tack this down a little bit here just to kind of help hold it. And then I'm going to take my needle and stab the head into the neck. I don't want him looking down too much. And I'm just going right down into the neck here. Again, be really careful because of your pipe cleaner. Come down a little bit. All right, let's take, which do I want to use here? I'm just going to take a little of our top coat, wrap some around his neck here. Again, this will all get covered up with our top coat, so. His head's a little small, but that's all right. Okay, I think we got him on there pretty good. Okay. This one here is just a little bit too big. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to give him his coat. Now there's a couple different ways that you can do this. I'm going to show you how I did this. If you want to try that on your sheep, you can do that. But I'm actually going to do this coating on there. But I mean, you could make him all really short hair, like he's already had his haircut. This is kind of a short curly. If you have curly locks, you can make curly locks and you can put those on. I don't have any, so I'm going to use what I have. So let me show you first how I did this covering, and then I'll show you how we're going to do it. So to do that, I'm just going to pull out a very little bit here. Just going to make it a little bit smaller, easier to work with. So what I did was I just held it in my hands, get my needles out of the way here, and I just twisted it and let it twist in on itself. It's probably hard to see. Let's see how I'm just gonna, whoops, I'm gonna lose my sheep here. I don't really want it to, there we go. I don't really want it to make a long twist, but if you can get a couple little twists in there, that's better. And then I'm just taking the ends here and twisting it down. You don't have to go all the way. So I have this little twisty mess here. And then what I do is I just take it on my sheep and just kind of stab it into place. So the smaller your sheep, the smaller you want to do this for. If you have a big sheep, you can make them the amount of wool you use bigger. But because this is such a little sheep, you'd want to keep it really kind of small. So then you just basically fill the whole sheep in with that. It takes a lot of work. So we're going to go the quicker route. I'm just going to pull that out. We're going to go the quicker route with this guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull off a piece of this, and I'm going to kind of fluff it up a little bit because I don't want it to be straight. I mean, you could put it on straight, but I think this works better. So I'm going to fluff it up, and I don't want to do a whole lot at one time. And we'll start up here on his head, and I'm just going to kind of lay it down. And using my fine 40 needles, I'm going to very gently poke it in, but I don't want to felt it a lot because I want it to stay fluffy. So I'm just going to kind of take it and poke here and there. I don't really want a line. You want it to hold, but you don't want it to totally felt. Kind of add some down here around his ear. One thing you want to be careful of is not to really have him laying down a lot because it'll mat down, so you want to be aware of that as you're doing this. It's got a pretty funky hairdo here. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around his whole body and fill in with his coat. So I will put this on high speed and I will be back when his coat is all on. Okay, before I finish his backside here, we need to make him a little tail. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of roving here. Yeah, a little bit more than that. And I'm gonna fold it in half. And so this guy here, you can see he just has a little nub of a tail. This one's a little bit longer. I think sheep's tails are a little bit longer, but we're gonna just kind of make a little one here so we're not looking for realism. So I'm just kind of folding it over on itself. And stabbing it down here. Just keep turning it. And depending on how long you want it to be. Okay, I don't need all of this here, so I'm just going to trim that off. Now, figure out where we want our little tail to go, and we will attach that. Carefully hitting the pipe cleaner here. I want it to kind of lay down flat. I don't want it to stick out, so I'm just gonna push it down a little bit while I stab it. I'm hitting right where the pipe cleaner is, so I'm trying to be careful. These little bits will get covered up. There, that's not too bad. Make sure it's in there good and secure. Okay, so now take a little bit and cover that up there. Then we'll do underneath his tail. Okay, I think we're gonna call him done. So this one's a little woollier. I could add more to this one, but he's a little bit smaller, so I think he looks all right. This one here is a little bit too big, but so yeah, so there is our little sheep using a basic pipe cleaner armature. You can use this for almost any little animal, like I said. But so there, have a little sheep. Now I have to figure out what we're going to make next. So if you have any suggestions on what you would like to learn how to do, drop me a comment down below and I will see what I can come up with. The next video that I put up probably will be an unveiling of my beginner's kit. I might get that up even before I get this one up. We'll see. So I got to finish putting them together as soon as the last of my wool shows up today. So I'm really excited for that. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. And we'll get into some more complex armatures down the road, if that's what you want to learn. But yeah, if there's something you want to see done, let me know. And if I can do it, I will show you how to do it. So thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.